Hey there, it's Jen, the parent liaison for AFCA here at Adopt for Life. And today we're going to talk a little bit about something called relational gestures. It's a key component of the NVR, nonviolent resistance approach. And to be honest, as a caregiver, it's one that I have personally struggled with the most. So I hope what I have to say today might help you a little bit if you're struggling as well. The concept behind relational gestures is to basically be doing a kindness for your child that is unsolicited, that it's not a reward for something, not something, they've deserved or earned, and you as a caregiver are not expecting anything from them in return. Not a thank you, not a return gesture, nothing. So the number one thing I have heard from caregivers I've been helping through this process, and also I feel this within myself, is how do I bring myself to do something unconditionally loving and kind for someone else who treats me so horribly? Like, I have my walls up here. I'm trying to protect myself. So that feels very vulnerable to me. And it feels almost like I just can't do it. I can't do this really nice thing for someone who very well may just throw it back in my face, or who would never ever dream of doing something nice for me in return. So if that is you, I hear you, I understand, and I'm hoping I can maybe help us reframe that a little bit and get over those feelings today. So this whole conversation reminds me a lot of some memories I have from childhood and high school years. So looking back, I'm sure all of you had a time where maybe you had a crush on somebody and you did little nice things for this person, maybe to let them know how you feel, and you got totally and utterly rejected in return. They maybe made fun of you, they outed you in front of everybody else, and they just treated you like garbage. When that happened, did you feel within yourself like continuing to do nice things for that person? Or did it kind of break your feelings for them? I think our answer is probably across the board, no, I did not feel like doing nice things for them. So we have these feelings entrenched within us, this kind of basic sense of, ethics and morality that if someone's treating you horribly, you need to have boundaries, obviously, and you're not going to reciprocate a kindness to someone who treats you that way. I think the issue here is that I and a lot of caregivers in our position need to learn is to reframe this and to kind of have a mantra in our heads that says, I am the parent, they are the child. So this isn't a situation where we're powerless like we were as a kid or a teen, or maybe in a relationship that went toxic. This isn't the same scenario. Okay, and we've maybe gotten ourselves into a position where we feel like the victim, but we've forgotten that actually we're the parent and they're the child, and we can take the high road when they treat us horribly. And even if we don't feel like doing it, we know in our head what the right thing to do is, and we can choose that thing. So this kind of brings me back to something my grandpa used to say when I was growing up, and it was about grace. So he used to say that grace is receiving something that you don't deserve. And I've thought about that a lot as I've been raising my kids, and that there's been so many times in my life, I know, that I have received kindness and goodness and love from others when I totally did not deserve it. And that is kind of the aim of a relational gesture. We're showing grace to somebody without expecting anything in return, even if they didn't deserve it. And the reason behind that is because we're trying to grow our relationship with them. And we're trying to reduce the aggression in our home by forging a greater bond with our child. Now, a few little tips about some ideas of what you could do for your child. I don't know about you, but in our home, we have several children with attachment disorders. So just a direct act for one of them, like I would with our children who don't have attachment disorders, doesn't usually work. So coming up to them and saying, gosh, I love you so much, and giving them a hug, they'd probably just stand there. I know a lot of caregivers are in that situation, or the child might push you away. So it's learning to do this sort of dance when we're thinking of a relational gesture and thinking about our child specifically, like what makes them tick and what would work for them. So some of our kids really relate well with humor. So this could be something as simple as texting them a funny meme out of the blue. And they might even go, wow, gosh, I didn't even know my parent knew how to text a meme, let alone have a sense of humor, because so much of our interaction is not humorous and is very tense. So it could be something as simple as that. I have children who don't necessarily love a hug, but I discovered early on that they really like when someone does their hair. So there were times when I could just reach out and say, hey, we're sitting on the couch watching TV, and I'd say, hey, can I braid your hair? And they'd go, yeah, I'd love that. And so just them sitting and me braiding their hair was a relational gesture that I was giving to them that they really felt loved by me. Some of you might have children or teens where the stomach is the way to their heart and they love food of any sort. And so then there's an opportunity to maybe think of something that they really love that you could bake for them or cook for them, or pick up at the store as a food or special treat for them, pop it in their lunch pail, or they get home from school and you've got that warm plate of cookies waiting for them, or you've made their favorite meal for dinner, even though it's not their birthday or anything like that. It's just for no reason at all. You've made their favorite meal. And don't forget the timing piece here. So this is not something you're going to be doing right after a big blow up fight. This is not something you're going to be doing as a reward for good behavior. It's just a gesture that kind of comes out of the blue, and you're not making a big deal out of it, not a big fuss about it. It's just a very small thing. And in the end, I think when you do this more and more, it's like a muscle you're flexing, that you're getting better and better at it, and you're growing that muscle. And I think what you're gonna find is not only does your child feel more loved and less shamed, but you as a caregiver are gonna feel more confident because you're like, hey, I'm a good parent. I made the right choice. I'm doing the right thing here. And you're slowly kind of working your way into a relationship where you really feel proud of yourself as a caregiver. So I hope there was something here for you guys. And maybe you could make it a goal in the next week to choose one relational gesture you're going to do for your child, and maybe just think about the timing and what exactly you're going to do and just try it out. If it's a flop the first time, that's okay. Try again, try something different, try it in a different way. Good luck, guys, and I wish you well on your caregiving journey.